I've never seen the fact that the crew was comprised of Codas. There were, I was totally in my element on the set because people were signing. During our breaks or in between scenes or even at lunch or dinner, we would all be speaking, even with the crew, in sign language. The crew learned sign, and it was one huge family on the set of Coda.
Hi, I'm Calie Schepp with Entertainment Weekly. And today, I'm here with the one and only Marlee Matlin. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm thrilled to be here, sitting with you and talking with you because we're talking in sign. This is the first time I've ever spoken, especially with EW. So congrats to you.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Are you listening?
So to start, Coda. The movie is amazing. Such an incredible film. I loved it. I cried. Amazing movie.
Thank you.
So the film showcases 3 deaf actors in prominent roles. What about this role made you feel compelled to say yes to doing it?
Well, when I first read the script, I was amazed at the fact that there were 3 deaf characters carrying the film. There's never been a film like that, probably since Children of the Lesser God, 35 years ago. So that was one script that I said, amazing, finally, a story is being told. Because there are so many stories having to do with deaf families out there that could be told that people might not be clued into or aware of, that they haven't seen. So the script was just gold for me, and I had to do it.
Some scenes, so there's heartfelt scenes about family, but also lots of aspects of deaf culture and humor. The writer and director, Sean Heder, is hearing.
That's right.
So how did those subjects get written into the script?
Sean Heder, who wrote and directed the film, did her homework. She collaborated with deaf people, and that she met with them, she communicated with them, she talked at length, and learned American Sign Language. And she really delved deeply into deaf culture. She likes to say that she was an outsider still. However, I would say that we're going to give her a pin that says she's an insider, now a member of the deaf community. I don't think I've ever seen a director in so long really delve in, jump into culture, embrace our culture, our language. And she learned a lot during her stint as director, and she went along with it because naturally when you write something, they have a vision. Their words are on the page of the script. So clearly when you're directing what you've written and you have your actors right there in front of you, acting out the scene in sign language, it's a whole different thing than what you've written on the page. And yet I knew that Sean really, really embraced and learned, and all of us grew together throughout the entire course of the film. You know, you don't know what's going to happen when you actually do it, and that's how you grow into your characters. And we all grew from the page to on set.
So on a set with, I'm assuming, mostly hearing people, how hard or easy was it to improvise your lines?
I've been in the industry for so long, and it's pretty standard. The crew does their job, and naturally I respect 1,000% what each crew member has to do. They have to work hard, and we all are there for a reason, to make something beautiful. Whether you're talking about a TV show or a film, doesn't matter. Everyone has their particular task. In this scenario, it was different because I've never seen the fact that the crew was comprised of Codas. There were, I was totally in my element on the set because people were signing. during our breaks or in between scenes or even at lunch or dinner, we would all be speaking, even with the crew, in sign language. The crew learned sign. And it was one huge family on the set of Coda.
You and the cast have been going nonstop for award season, with the film up for Best Picture at the Oscars. Congratulations. And you're the only deaf actor to ever win an Oscar. Now that 35 years have passed, what's different about award season now?
This award season has been entirely different than all the years that I've been going to the various award seasons. When I first went to the Oscars, I remember the bleachers full of people screaming and photographers everywhere. And it was just a crowded red carpet and, you know, doing your air kisses and saying hellos to everyone. And the publicity circuit was incredible. There was lots of traveling. However, this year, because of the pandemic and because of the available technology that we've had, it's really an entirely different ballgame. The energy, the feeling of competition is the same, maybe even more so, as a result of social media, because people are reading every day, they're commenting, everyone is, you know, talking about their likes and their dislikes in social media, which of course is fine, that's part of the game. But this award season, the nominations coming from everywhere for the film have really truly been amazing. I'm so humbled about all the love and respect that we've all gotten. And it's exciting that this is a new thing for most people. They haven't really seen this kind of film before. It's a film where, I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I think it's about time to say, hey, we're here, we did a great movie, we're actors just like everybody else, and I hope that after Coda and the award season is over, people will start thinking about projects for deaf actors if they haven't already.
So how did your life change when you won your Oscar?
I was 21 when I won the Oscar. And at the same time, I was also getting sober. It was a big year for me. And as the years went by, I got work, both in film and television. I made friends with people in the industry. I learned a great deal about how it was to produce, how it was to get creative and to communicate with all levels of the industry to make sure that I could get things accomplished. And I decided that the best way to do this was to create my own production company, because I wasn't going to sit and wait for work to come to me. I found out that you have to be creative, you have to network, you have to reach out, you have to, I mean, I couldn't just stop. I've always said this since I started in the entertainment industry, that I would keep on breaking barriers, opening doors for everyone, not just for myself, because I'm always thinking about other actors who are deaf. Maybe they can do this, or maybe there's a role here that's not necessarily written deaf, but that could work for them. I'm doing this every day, and I'll continue to do this.
You act as the ACLU's Celebrity Ambassador for Disability Rights, trying to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the deaf community. Tell me a little bit more about your work there.
So I have worked with the ACLU because being that they're a large human rights organization, and there are obviously people out there who needs to have their voice heard and seen. So what I worked with them on was making sure that people who were deaf understood what to do when they are pulled over by law enforcement. My message was for all people, really, both drivers and law enforcement, how critical it is to follow the rules, to understand the steps and procedures from both perspectives. It's hard to do, but it's not impossible. We all have our rights as citizens. At the same time, law enforcement expects us to adhere to the law, but it's crucial to understand the needs on the part of law enforcement when they meet someone who is deaf, how it is they communicate. So there is a need for two-way communication here, and that was the purpose of the video. It's not always perfect. I think the video, however, being seen by all police departments, I think they need to see it needs to be seen.
So what is something that deaf actors previously had to deal with in Hollywood that they no longer have to deal with now?
I would love to say that we don't have to deal with trying to get work or trying to make connections or trying to, I think it's not the case. I think there's still a lot of work that we have to do because this industry, the entertainment industry, doesn't necessarily make themselves available to everyone. Everyone who wants, or anyone who wants to get into the business, whether you're an actor, a producer, a writer, a director, whatever it may be, or even if someone like a camera operator, needs to be able to have the opportunity to at least give it a try to see if this is something they want to do or something they're good at. However, I understand that, I know for a fact that since Coda has come out, and we've been on the circuit, on the publicity circuit, campaigning for the project, we've been talking about everything having to do about where we came from, what it is that we have our sights set on, what it is that we're doing, and people have been open to our thoughts and our message, and it's been loud and clear. Yet it doesn't mean that people will necessarily follow through. But I think it's better. I think our voices are being heard, definitely. But again, it doesn't mean that we sit back and wait for work to come to us. You have to move forward, and that's why I'm working on other projects, new things. I think that I shouldn't limit myself just being an actor. As you might have heard, I'm going to be a director. I'm going to be directing something very soon, and I'm looking forward to that. And we'll see how that goes. You don't know until you give it a try.
It was recently announced that you're going to be directing an episode in the upcoming Fox anthology crime drama series, Accused. Tell me a little bit more about that.
The show it's a new television series based in a format from overseas called The Accused, and it's an anthology series. So each episode has a different set of actors. And this story that I'll be directing has multiple actors in it. It's based on a story that's true, and I'm very excited. We'll see how that goes. To me, to say action and cut, that's the big challenge for me. But I'm very excited to be working with the crew, the producers, and the actors. We'll see how it goes.
What is one thing that executive producers can do to help the deaf community and deaf actors?
I've executive produced several films, and yeah, it allows me to have the power to say what creative decisions need to be made in the project, from casting to directing to, it's essentially the deaf eyes on a project, and if they're deaf stories or if they're not deaf stories. But perhaps I should decide we should use deaf actors. It's a great deal of work. However, as I said earlier, it's something that I really like doing and something I'm up for the challenge.
What is your biggest hope for the future of deaf representation in Hollywood?
My biggest hope for actors who are deaf down the line in Hollywood is that they are welcomed in any way that it's the same as people who are hearing. It doesn't necessarily mean that every hearing actor has been welcomed. We know that that's not the case. There are certainly lots of stories of people whose doors are closed in their faces, but I think that we have had increased visibility as a result of Coda. People are aware of deaf actors. And I would hope that deaf actors then are able to have their names become more familiar with people in the industry, and they can make things happen just as I have. Again, you need to be able to network, you need to be able to reach out, you need to get creative, you need to put yourself out there. And I'm always thinking who it is I can call to make something happen. If I see a project that I like, or who is I can reach out to say, this is a great actor and that this is somebody you might want to have in your movie. It's, again, collaboration is the buzzword here. And I'm always serving myself as well as serving other actors. And it's both for my work and for the community. As someone said, you need a village to make things work.
What's your favorite project you've seen recently that was made by or starred someone deaf?
I like both, actually, television or film. I'm a fan of a great number of deaf actors. And I never forget those who have paid their dues. I also think about those who paved the way for us, particularly if we're talking about television. There's Linda Bove. There's Bernard Bragg, who came from the National Theater of the Deaf. Phyllis Fralick, who was in the Tonys for Children of Lesser God. So, I mean, they paved the way for us. But I think there's so many opportunities now as we speak. So many stories out there that need to be told. Coda is just one example of a million stories that you could tell.
What's a role that you would love to play in the future?
As I said, I love a challenge. As an actor, I love a challenge. So if you're asking about what kind of role I'd like to do, I would say, I'd go for anything, really. Because as actors, we love to get creative. And as an artist, I'd love to be able to come up with something that I have never done before. Listen, I've been thinking about acting since I was 8 years old. So I wouldn't mind playing a role, for example, let's say I've never played someone who has an addiction, or perhaps, I lean towards drama, but at the same time, I'm also a big fan of comedy too. And I've had a number of projects that now are currently in development that are both for television and film. And they are projects that we've never seen on television before, because I think it's important to create exciting and new ideas like this.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. She's great. She signs.
Watch Coda streaming now on Apple TV+. Thank you. Thank you so much.